everybody, it's Chris again, and today I thought we'd do something a little different. So, a few years ago, way before I had a YouTube channel, I made this junk journal, I guess you'd call it. I just made it out of, it's cardboard and just various things glued together. So I thought we'd take a look at it together. I think this part is done with like a spirograph or something, I don't know. And I did like paint pens. You can see that I glued like trim to it and stuff. Here, this is like a 3D stud. You can see this is 3D. The background is like just a paper bag with some metallic red acrylic paint on it. Let's open it up. Oh, the binding is not the best here. So this is just the paper is like scrapbook paper that's dotted, and I just stamped flowers here and there. It's the same on the back as well. Here's the first page. This is some washi tape. This is actually, I'll do a little bit of a close up there. That is a stamp that I colored in with different gel pens. Here's just like some trim that I made out of like deco scissors. Some things that look like maybe they were stenciled or something. Again, this has been years. So it appears this is just like stenciled paper that I did with watercolor in there. And this is obviously the flap of an envelope. Let's see. Next page, I went with an orange theme. Again, we got a giant cutout flower here. And just some shiny metallic copper paper is stuck on there. Let's see. I think there's like some textured paper or tissue paper I put in here. Here's an excess cutout of something, and I put it behind here. This one's obviously green. There's nothing in here. Oh wait, there is. In this envelope. So it's just this. And like these are supposed to be like the tracks of the lizard. Sorry, I'm trying to hold this up so you can see. So it's just a little note card that slips in here. Like this. So I cut all these flowers out by hand. And then the lizard I drew myself and cut him out. Glued him on here. This is another page that I think was originally an envelope. So you can see it opens like this. This doesn't have an opening here. But you can see I cut out all these leaves by hand. And there's just different, like, some metallic-y waste paper, different textures and things. All sorts of different stuff. Like this is scrapbook paper I colored on. This is some hot pink waste paper of some sort, I'm sure. Some more leaves I cut out. Okay. This one I went with more of a composition. I drew in like gemstone. I drew in some gemstones. This is a piece of vellum. I drew a watch on it and then taped it on with washi tape around here. This is just like, I think part of the envelope that this is part of. And I just kind of put some stuff on it there. Some metallic tape. And then here I drew a city. And you probably can't tell. You can bring it up really close. This is textured. This is all like glue, Mod Podge, and tissue paper to make the texture, and then I went in and colored in the city. So this was I stenciled on some watercolor paper and colored it in, and then this is like a glittery black tape to give it I put over the top to give it kind of a stained glass look. This is another cutout rose thing. And you can't really, again, you can't see the texture very well, but these are textured as well. They're black pieces of thick paper that I either textured or were already textured, and I just went over it with some pink to raise so that you could see the texture a little better. And here is like some cork paper that is kind of like a metallic-y copper sheen to it. Also, I have this thing. I don't know. I think it's part of the binding. I can't remember. Okay. This, I went with kind of a brown theme. Here I drew some flowers and cut them out. These are just stamps I stamped on here. Here's a cork flower, and then this is a tag that pulls out. I don't know if you can see this, but it's, oh, this part, what is that? Something fell out of there. I don't know. A little piece of paper. Anyway, you can see it. I crocheted the top here. Just, if we focus, I crocheted the top. And here is the tag. I made it a little too tight so the sequins don't want to fall around. But you can see what it looks like on both sides. I just slip it back in here. And here I did some heat embossing. These are flowers that are heat embossed. I drew these with a wet embossing pen and then embossed them in the colors I wanted. So there you go. Okay, and this page is just whatever, I don't even know. This is a pattern I made myself, and so is this. These patterns here, these puffy looking patterns, are tissue paper that are folded up. Like these are strips of puffy tissue paper that I glued down. There's the other side of that. This was obviously an envelope. This paper here, you can't tell, but it's got kind of a slate texture to it. That's because it's heat embossed. It's embossed through a rolling machine to get that texture. And then I heat embossed it with some blue embossing powder. This page is interesting. So, you see this lace pattern? That's actually not drawn on there if you look really, really close. It's all just little holes that I poked in it to make the pattern. They're all just little bitty holes. So I wanted that to go with kind of the lacy theme. Here is vellum that I just took, and I took like a stylus, a fine stylus, and I scratched on it and made this pattern. So this is not on the paper. This is actually where I scratched out to make this lace pattern. And over here, you can see I made this giant, oh Lord, cameo. It tried to make it look like a cameo pin, and I drew that myself and cut it out. Here's some ink work or paint work, rather, that I did. This I just went with kind of just something fun. I did like a little house with some stones. I did deckle edge scissors for the grass. Cut out the little sunflowers and whatnot. And here I went with lots of texture. These dots are all just stickers. You used to be able to get them at Dollar Tree, but I don't know that they sell them anymore. These pearl dots came in an old scrapbooking kit my mom found at a garage sale. And all the paper is woven. I don't know if you can tell. I wove all the strips together. These are Fimo rose slices. Those Fimo slices that you can put on your nails. That's what these are. And these are all woven. Here's part of a book page. Trust me, it was a book page from Dollar Tree. It wasn't a good book or anything. Not that I should say that. I'm sure there's lovely books in Dollar Tree. But it was an old book, and I wove it in there. There's more of that book and notebook paper and whatnot. More Fimo slices of a different flower. And here, I just put in like random letters. That's an ice cream cone with a cupcake. That sweet. I don't know what I was thinking. Not too fond of this page. And the last one is a moth I watercolored. I also did these. I cut these and drew these by hand. And also the moth. This book is kind of unwieldy. This is what it looks like. The binding is not the best, but whatever. You know, it's the first like junk journal I've ever made, so I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever do another one or not. Just thought I'd show you guys. Kind of a quick one today, but I thought it was fun. So I hope you had fun today. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, okay? And I'll see you all soon, okay? Bye-bye.